Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for trading on November 3rd, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. So as usual, we will start off by taking a look at our Forex factory here. So the biggest thing today was the biggest thing here was Bank of England here, and they were expected to raise rates, which they did. So in spite of the rate hike, though, things didn't go up for British pound. So this is what happened with one of the Fed rate hikes as well. So it's known as a dovish hike. So basically what that means is that even though they raised rates, so what Bank of England essentially said was that things are good now, economy is doing well, the data is coming out good, inflation is on track. So everything looks good right now, but in the future, they do not feel things will go as well. They think the inflation will be lower, so they're concerned about that. And they also think that they're concerned about inflation. They don't think the economy is going to do as well. They're concerned about Brexit. So those are the worries that they have. So as a result of that, because their commentary was so dovish and their forecast was dovish overall for UK, so that's why we had, in spite of the interest rate hike, we had such a big drop in the British pound. So this is very similar to when Fed did one of their hikes, and in spite of the interest rate hike, when things should go up, it actually went down, and that's what's going on at the moment with British pound. So overall, it's not so positive. So the bias for British pound is bearish from fundamental perspective. So coming up here, we have Aussie data coming out. So actually we have the Euro Aussie trade. So it's I'm just going to close that out because going into the news, we don't want to have a trade open going into the news, even though the last set of data that came out was positive for Aussie. We cannot take that. So let me just actually put out a quick feed. Okay, so just wanting to make sure that that one's closed. Excuse me. Okay, so that's it for today. Big thing tomorrow. Another thing that we saw today, big news was a couple of things that came out, tax reforms. So based on the tax reforms, market didn't quite like it too much. So that was now positive. And another thing was President Trump announced the replacement for Yellen. So what is the name of the person? It is Powell. Powell will be the new Jerome Powell. He will be the new Fed Reserve chairperson. And market did not like as a result of that, we saw that the US dollar weakened. And the reason it weakened was because Yellen was considered hawkish. She has more hawkish outlook on the economy, and she was more for interest rate hikes, whereas Powell is not like that. He's more dovish. So as a result, basically, market is expecting US dollar to weaken. So that's what's going on in the market as well. So tax reforms combined with the new pick for Fed, overall, they were negative for the US dollar. Coming up tomorrow, we have services PMI for British pound. But the main news here will be the non-farm non-farm payrolls for the US. Generally, there is a big move when non-farm payrolls come out. So keep that in mind. And that's something, it'll be very volatile. I don't tend to trade news. So I would just sit that out. And then we also have trade balance and employment numbers for Canada. Important numbers, trade balance is always an important number. So keep an eye for that. And we also have ISM non-manufacturing PMI numbers. Again, these are important, but the main event definitely will be the non-farm payroll numbers for tomorrow. So let's go on to the charts here. Okay, so Euro US dollar, we are still in that range. So we've been in this range for a while. So we were looking at this 1686 number, 80-ish number here. As long as price is below that, it is bearish, but price is starting to pull back now. So the way the price closed today, this is neutral, very neutral close. So we have a bullish candle, but then we have a long tail up top. So outlook is bullish to neutral for this. So if the first test will be 1.1680 level, if the price moves beyond that, then we are looking for these things. So non-farm payroll, if that comes out negative, chances are that 1680 level is going to break. And then we're looking at 1750 or even potentially higher into this 1780 level. So those will be the two targets to the upside. But if 1680 level holds, if price is not able to break that, then we are looking to trade back into the range. So that's what the outlook is for now. It is range bound, but once it breaks above 1.1680, we are likely to see the price go up. But if the non-farm numbers, for example, come out positive, then we are looking for this to drop. But the two events, the comments, so Powell and the other thing, they are both negative for the US dollar. The tax reforms, the market is not taking them as well as they would have liked. So we'll have to see what comes out of that. Pound dollar, big drop here. Definitely bearish. We're looking for a further move to the downside. This one could pull up. A good level for this one to pull up to would be with this 31.20. However, if the non-farm payroll numbers come out negative, this could pull up further. So that's something to keep in mind. But for now, the bearish, very, very bearish outlook it wasn't able to break this level. We were bearish on this, and this definitely huge drop, more than actually I would have expected. But right now we're looking for further move to the downside into 129.90 area. But first the price could pull back into, so this is the type of move that I would be expecting. Now it could pull up higher if the numbers are negative. So overall, bearish. Aussie dollar here. Aussie is very bullish looking here. So Aussie has gone up and it's broken through this level that we've been watching for the entire week, essentially. And right now looks bullish, looking for a further move to the upside. The target here will be 77.50 and going up further all the way into 77, about 80-ish level, I would say, right about there. So those will be the two levels I would keep an eye on to the upside. The first target would be 77.50 level, and then further moving into 77.80. So we do have data coming out, retail numbers coming out for Aussie in just a bit here. So those could, if they come out positive, then Aussie is likely to go up. New Zealand dollar. So New Zealand, for many days, it hit the support level, couldn't break through, and now we are bullish now. So price is looking bullish here. We are seeing the pins on top, but in spite of that, price is making higher highs, and it's closing higher. So that is positive for New Zealand. Looking for a further move up into the 69, even all the way into this 69.80 area. So that's what I'm looking for overall. This looks bullish right now. So bias is to the upside. Daily candle closes are starting, or they have already turned bullish. Dollar CAD here. Dollar CAD, we've talked about how this level was holding. So we were bearish. So we have a nice bearish close for the day here, looking for a further move to the downside. So sorry, a 127.20 level here, or 127.14 level here looks good. So looking for a further drop. So our bias for dollar CAD is bearish. Euro pound here, huge move to the upside, looking for further move up. So we've had some large moves here. At some point, price is likely to pull back. So do keep that in mind, because price doesn't just go one way forever. Those people will have to close their trades and book profit. So that we'll have to keep that in mind. So in this case here, bullish, it may pull back into this 8,900 level. And then we're looking into this 90-20 level back into these highs. So bias for euro pound is bullish. Euro Swiss franc here. The candle close for the day is neutral. Looks like price is struggling at this point. So because of this candle close, we could see, just like we had talked about dollar CAD here, it turning bearish here. So this is not quite the same. Sorry, Euro Swiss. So this sorry, this is not quite the same. However, we could get a pullback here because we are into this resistance area. So we could get a pullback. Price could come and test the trend line again. So I would be careful with that. But the candle close is very neutral, so this could go either way. So in terms of this move to the downside, price could do one of these. So keep that in mind. It could come and test this 1620, 1.1620 level. So I would keep that level in mind. So neutral bias there. Pound, Swiss franc, everything with pound is bearish right now. So looking for a further drop. We could see a pullback into that level, which is 130.80. So the move again here would be potential pullback and then a drop, and we are likely looking into this area, so about 129.80 area, but the bias is bearish for pound Swiss. Dollar Swiss here, bearish to neutral close here. So price came into the bottom of the range. It is still trading in this range. So I'm looking for price to basically come back and test the bottom here into this 99.50 level. So bias is to the downside. Overall, this is a range bound move. So once the price comes down, we could get a bounce off of this level like that. So for now, this is bearish, coming towards the bottom of the range. Pound CAD, huge drop here. And in this case, we are looking for further move to the downside, but that level here, 161.6820 is a potential level for a pullback. But in terms of our bias is to the downside and looking for a further move to the downside, 1.6600 is a good level for the next target here. Pound yen, we are looking quite bearish here. So looking for further move to the downside in terms of the pullback. We could see a pullback either into 149.50 or a shallow one into 149.20. But the bias based on this huge candle would be to the downside. Euro yen, it is looking bullish, looking for a further move to the upside here. So the target here is 134, excuse me, 134.50 to the upside there. So bullish. Aussie yen looking quite bullish. 88.30 would be the target further up, or even into this 88.60 level. So we're looking quite bullish here. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, this here is actually a bearish close. So we're looking for price to come down. So looking for price to come down, we're sort of in this wider range. We've been in here for a little while now, over a week. So I'm looking for price to come down. First target will be the bottom of this pin here at 113.50 level. And then further down, we are looking into this 113.20 level. So overall bias is certainly to the downside. Let's take a quick look at CAD yen. CAD yen is bullish at the moment with all commodity currencies. So very nice morning star formation here. And now we're looking for a further move to the upside. Target here 89.50 and further up we could go all the way into 89.80 level. So this looks bullish. Now we do have news for CAD, very important news. Trade balance numbers are always important number that the market pays attention to. So although Canadian dollar has been bullish because oil has done well, but with the trade balance numbers, if they come out negative, that could have a negative impact on this. So do keep that in mind. Last one here, New Zealand yen. This looks bullish as well. So we're looking for further move to the upside. 79.20 will be the target to the upside. And then we are into important resistance levels. So 71.20 would be our target to the upside. All right, so that's all I have. Any questions or anything to add? Okay, so tonight we're not trading London because I generally don't trade on Fridays. So I will see you guys in the morning for our webinar tomorrow. And tomorrow again, tomorrow we're talking about moving averages. Yes, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening and I will see you then.